What is good? Let's have some fun. It's the Fundamism podcast with your host Paul J. Long and all things fun. We'll let the fun begin. Woo! What is good? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Fundamism podcast. I am your host, Paul J. Long, speaker and consultant, and I am excited to be here chatting with you today. Why? Well, it's not every day that we have the opportunity to chat, just you and I. Today is a Solocast. Not everybody has the opportunity to tune in for a 30-minute to 1 hour podcast. And while I thoroughly enjoy the opportunity to meet new guests and learn more about what makes them tick, I value our relationship and the opportunity that we have to chat on a one-on-one level even more. You see, I'm certain that if we challenge each other to self-reflect and force ourselves to think a little bit more of the things that are working as opposed to the things that aren't, and I could provide you a little short burst of energy or motivation and challenge in 10 to 15 minutes, well, ultimately, I believe that you'll tune in again and you'll become a fan or an even bigger fan of the Fundamism podcast. So we are brought to you, as always, by our sponsors over at Charlie Hustle. Charlie Hustle is located right here in beautiful Kansas City, but you don't have to be a resident of KC to appreciate their fine threads. If you're into collegiate apparel or you have community pride, most likely Charlie Hustle has a product that fits your needs. So go to charliehustle.com to learn a little bit more about their offering and be the freshest on the block. Our topic of discussion today: where you focus your energy will generate results. Again, where you focus your energy will generate results. Now, when I speak of results can be both positive and negative. We've all had those bad days where stuff just caroms downhill. Something bad happens to us, and ultimately it just gets worse and worse and worse. I saw an amazing quote recently on Instagram. Somebody called another individual out. It basically said, "Did you have a bad day or did you have a bad 10 minutes and you just milked it for the rest of the day?" You know, oftentimes when we have bad things happen to us, we become hypersensitive to them. And so we focus our attention there. And as a result, the day doesn't go our way. So what if we shifted our mentality just a little bit and we focused a little bit more on the things that lifted us up, or the things that gave us strength, or all the things that were working around us as opposed to the things that tore us down? That is a philosophy that I call Fundamism. And I had the opportunity to implement that philosophy recently, early January, when I got to speak to a orthotic and prosthetic juggernaut down in Austin, Texas called Ottobock. Now, I was enamored with Ottobock's culture and the people that I got to meet. Specifically, I got to introduce myself and get introduced to individuals that had amazing stories, individuals that have dealt with incredible challenge, many of which had lost limbs, multiple limbs, and were going through challenges in their relationship, or challenges with a child that was ultimately faced with cancer. I mean, I learned some incredible things about these individuals that I had the opportunity to meet. And the only reason why I learned this information about these individuals is because I asked. You know, if you've tuned in before, you know that we talk often about these surfacey discussions that people have on a regular basis, you know, work, weather, and family. And I hate to continue to bring it up, but society isn't changing in the way that we're generating these conversations. So I had the opportunity to meet some incredible people, mainly because I got to chat with them about the things that lifted them up, and I showed a genuine interest. I focused my energy on learning more about them. And as a result, my results went through the roof. What do I mean by that? Well, I got to fly in on a Sunday evening, and I don't always have the opportunity to spend 2, 3, 4 days with a client, mainly because of demand and my desire to be home with family. But this week was a little bit different. I had the opportunity to fly in on a Sunday to Austin and fly out on a Wednesday. I was scheduled for a keynote Monday morning from 8 to 9, and then another keynote with a separate group from 8 to 9 on Wednesday. I was greeted with a welcome reception on Sunday evening that, of course, was not for me, but I was invited to. We, of course, indulged in a beverage or two and had a beautiful time where I learned a lot about what was working within the Autobot culture and some of the challenges that they were facing. As I worked the room, I got to meet, as I stated before, some incredible individuals. I learned about Brian Long, no relation, who is currently teaching his son how to ride a bike, #Liam Long. I learned about a gentleman by the name of Eric that resides down in Florida and has 2 beautiful daughters that constantly reach out to him for support, even in their 20s, and how he challenges them in their line of thinking whenever they're having bad days. He immediately challenges that verbiage or vernacular and says, "What challenge or what inconvenience have you faced today?" Not what terrible thing has happened to you or what's going wrong, but what inconvenience are you facing today? Because that's what we face, inconveniences. We all have challenges in life and life goes on. But if you force yourself and those around you, like Eric does with his beautiful girls, to think a little bit more about things as inconveniences as opposed to roadblocks or mountains that you have to climb, well, then things get a little bit easier to deal with. I met Andy, who is currently going through a challenging relationship, and life has been flipped on its head. And he told me a little bit about how he mountain bikes to get out of that rut that he's currently facing. I learned about Wendy, who is one of the most phenomenal individuals that I've had the opportunity to meet in such a short period of time, who heard the story of John Stoner and I's cat suits and then showed me a picture of her in one that was taken 15 to 20 years ago. And newsflash, she looked far better than I. When I got the opportunity to go on stage Monday morning from 8 to 9 and chat with a group, I have a general outline that I typically use in all of my keynotes. And of course, based on what the customer is facing and what's working, what's not working, and their target audience, I do customize each keynote to meet them where they are. But again, I have a core foundation of what I speak of: Fundamism and fun, connecting to life and the workplace through fun. So the one thing that I feel differentiates me between and many other speakers is the fact that I can relate specifically to individuals in the audience, because I take time to focus on them and I learn about what makes them tick, and I incorporate their stories and their passion and their fun and their joy in my keynote. So as I'm delivering my 1-hour keynote, I reference Wendy and I reference Eric and I reference Brian and I reference so many other individuals that I had the opportunity to meet, Tiffany and Chris. And it was a magical phenomenon that took place because those individuals felt special and they felt valued and they felt as though my content related to them. Why am I telling you this? Monday night, we had the pleasure of meeting up again and having drinks, and I got to go to a team dinner where individuals were sharing all the successes over the course of the year. And many individuals came up to me and they said, "You got to tell me, what do you do to remember names? That is crazy how great you are with names. And how did you remember things about each individual that you met?" You know, oftentimes folks, they spend a lot of energy learning like mnemonic devices and how to connect an individual's name with something that they remember, a picture, if you will. I've never been good at that. If I was going to spend the energy to build a picture or a thought around every individual that I met, I wouldn't be present. I wouldn't be listening what these individuals said. So, what I told the individuals that had the courage to ask me this question, how do you remember names and very specific facts about each individual that you meet? I told them you would remember names and things about people too if it mattered to you. Specifically, if you knew that you were going to get up in front of a group of people and they didn't know you and you had to form a bond with them. If you knew that by remembering names and incorporating something important about them or something that brings them joy, fun, and fulfillment in their life, and you brought that up in a group setting and you saw the twinkle in their eye and the joy that they felt when they were called upon and they were remembered as offering value in my life and to those around them, well, then you'd remember names and facts as well. So come in full circle. Where you spend your energy, where you focus your energy will generate results. I remember facts and names because they matter to me. Relationships matter. And learning more about what makes people tick and giving them the opportunity to talk about what lifts them up doesn't happen very often. And so when you find an individual that takes time out of their day to ask the questions that make people smile and force them to understand that they are valued, it makes a difference and it generates an outcome. It generates energy. Where do you focus your energy? If you focus your energy on the things that aren't working, well, then more things that aren't working are going to happen. If you focus your energy on going to the gym and you want to work out and you want to feel good about yourself and you want to have a better image of what you look like and what you offer this world, well, then you're going to generate that outcome. If you want to focus your energy on being a better husband, a better wife, a better father, a better mother, a better employee, a better boss, whatever it may be, if that's where you focus your energy, well, guess what? You're going to generate results in that realm. You have to get out of your head and stop thinking about all this crap that doesn't matter. Focus your energy on things that will make you a better individual, that will make you a better society member, that will make you a better person, that will offer value to those that you meet and those that you surround yourself with. And ultimately, if you do that, if you focus your energy on places that will generate improvement and bring joy, fun, and fulfillment to your life, I promise you things will get better. And if they don't, reach out to me, text me, call me, email me, comment on this video thread, because I will challenge you. And I will ask you the difficult questions about where you're focusing your energy and why things aren't working. Guys, I trust that everybody watching this or listening to this particular podcast right now today can generate more fun and positivity in their life. Do you believe that? If you don't, you need to start. Because if you want to change your outcomes, if you want to generate different results, well, the first thing you have to do is you have to believe that you can. So I ask you today, as we wrap up today's Solocast, where you focus your energy will generate results, where are you focusing your energy? I'd love to hear from you. I'd love for you to comment on this video, comment on the blog. Tell me where you're focusing your energy and what are the results that you're achieving as an extension of that energy. Thanks as always for tuning in. This was our Fundamism podcast, Solocast, meant to provide you 10 to 15 minutes of thought, inspiration, energy, love, joy, fun, and fulfillment. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I encourage you all to have a little bit more fun today. Enjoy.